Saturday, September 6th, end of day, time for a little update. And let's start with the little storage shed here. Let's go inside. It's getting a little that, but try to get this done. Well, this place is like Swiss cheese with holes to the outside. So I spent a lot of time and I still got more work to do foaming all of the corners here and here and over here and over here. And also I'm using caulk to seal some other places, like along the ridge here, all the way along, all the way around. And then also in the bottom, all the way around. I'm not going to spin all the way around again. I think you get the idea. And all the way around on this bottom of the 2x4. So yeah, and the windows all caulked on the inside, all the way around, above and below. And I still need to do some foam, spray foam along this ridge line here and on the other side as well. So yeah, there's more work to do, and up there still got to do that. Thing is, I didn't want to do that because with these cans, just a tip, if you open one and start using it, you've got to use the whole can, because if it dries within the little tube that they give you, it's over. You're never going to get that thing to flow again. So once you start using it, you got to use it up. So I have to make sure I have enough places to use it. And I wanted to let some of the caulk dry before I went ahead and opened another can. And then here, this was two of the 2x4 frames that I'm starting on. So this is going to be the height of the shelf in here. So it'll go all the way across this back wall. It's going to be 3 foot wide, and it'll be tall enough, at least on this side, so that I can easily fit stuff underneath here. So I got all this space on the floor, and then I'll have this space from here all the way up to the ceiling. And then on the other side, I think I mentioned it last week, instead of one shelf, there'll be two, one about here and one about here. And they won't be 3 foot, they'll be like 2.5 feet. So that'll be on this side and on the other side of the door. So that's the plan. More sealing, more caulking, and then finally shelving. Okay, so let's go down to the Quonset hut and show you what's happening down there. Okay, heading down to the Quonset hut. I've closed it up for the day, but let's see, back this out. Yeah, that's all closed. The only thing I wanted to really show you was on the outside. So back here on the southern side of the building, didn't do any power washing, but I finally got the second coat of Bondo all the way along here. So that makes me happy that that's all done. So now, after I let these dry for maybe 24 hours, I can power wash this and even power wash the actual building itself without worrying about damaging the Bondo. I mean, it probably wouldn't hurt it, but it does stay slightly soft for a while until it can really harden up, and that takes about 24 hours. So yeah, I'll just stay away from it with the power washer until it completely hardens. And that's about it. I tried a little sanding on this one here. I bought a different little sander. It's basically just a circular pad that you put into a drill, and it just lets you get into these tight spaces a little bit better. It worked okay. I wish I could find, I have to do a little research. I wish I could find a better tool, like a little circular pad, just like I'm using, but instead of going into a drill, something that spins a little faster. The drill just, it's unwieldy to try and sand with the drill. So I'll do some research online. Maybe I can find something. But yeah, the pad was only about this big, big around, and it only spun as fast as the drill would go. I think if I could make it go faster, it would be more effective. But yeah, I think sanding this really does improve it. And then eventually maybe I can paint it and then flex seal the whole thing when I'm done. All right, that's it. I'll let you know if I find anything that fits the bill in terms of sanding. So talk to you later. All right, Sunday, September 7th? Yeah, I think. I'm losing track. Anyway, this is a very quick update. I've got the braces or squares that the shelves in here are going to sit on. Yeah, it looks high, but I think that's really where I want it. That way I can have plenty of room to stuff stuff underneath here, and also plenty of room to put stuff on top. The other side will be a little different, but these are all made up, and those are the 2x4s that I have to screw together. That will be the first shelf that goes across here in the small shed. And of course there'll be one here and then another one here. And then that'll complete all of the shelves on the northern face. All right, that's all for now. All right, Monday, September 8th. Time for an update. All right, today I was mostly working in this little storage shed. Just working on the shelving units in there, so I flip around. Take a look. All right. It's getting a little dark. Sorry about that. Let me back this out a bit. Yeah, there we go. All right, so I'll try to get all of this in, but the far side, that's that side, the northern side, shelving is complete except for the actual sheathing on the top. So that's all screwed into place, ready to go. And that's all there's going to be. It's only one shelf on that side. And then over here, I've got this side, these, I guess, boxes here that will go in the corner, and then right here by the door as the, like over here to hold the shelf unit. And then I've got one shelf already screwed together, ready to go. And I think what I'll do is I'll duplicate this over here before I move on to the second shelf up here. Because what I want to do is once this shelf is in place, I'll put the sheathing on the top, then I'll put the extra squares that hold the second shelf on, so I can screw them directly down into the sheathing as well as the 2x4s below it. So, and I'm out of 2x4s, so I'm gonna have to go into town tomorrow and restock on 2x4s. But making progress. I think I ought to be able to get another one of these done in here tomorrow, get this screwed into place, get the other one screwed into place, and then I'll go back and I'll be working in the Quonset hut on the rolling cart, the 8-foot rolling cart, to get that one done. So that's the plan for now. Oh, I did spray foam the roof there. I kind of seal that off where the hole was patched. So, and I still have to go back up and do more Bondo. Oh, and I did find an interesting little handheld rotary sanding tool that I'm going to try on both the Quonset hut along the bottom ribs and also on the top here, where it's just very globby of the Bondo. I think it'll be a lot easier than, you know, trying to use, you know, a sander like this. This thing is just, you know, it looks small, but it's just too big to get into the places that I need to. So we'll give this new tool a try. I'll try and, you know, maybe get some shots of it in action, and I'll let you know how it goes. All right, that's it for Monday. September 9th, end of day. Time for a little update. I had to go into town today for supplies, more lumber, more spray foam, other stuff. So I didn't have a whole lot of time for construction, but let's talk about the small shed. I did get some things done in there, so flip around. All right, might be a little dark. We're getting to the end of the day. So I have completed, I don't know if I showed this before or not, but I think I did. Yeah, all the shelves on the northern side are done except for the sheathing on the top. And then I've got this shelf on the southern side done. Notice it's about a foot shorter than the other one. I can back this out a little. Yeah, there we go. That's better. Yeah, so it's a foot shorter, and then there'll be another square support on here. It's 2 feet tall, and then another shelf on here, same width as that. And that's future. And then I have the 2 rectangular supports cut. These are not screwed together yet. They'll go at the end and here. And then this is the lumber to make a duplicate of this shelf on this side. So I should get that done tomorrow, as well as this shelf made. And then I'll probably get the little rectangular supports made on both sides, but I'm not going to go any further than that because I really do want to get the sheathing down on here, because I want to put, when I go to screw it together, I want that rectangular support to screw directly down on top of the sheathing. Okay, Wednesday, September 10th, end of day. Quick update on the small storage shed. I'm getting close, so let me zoom it back out. I'm learning. Okay, we've seen this side. That's all done except for the sheathing. We now have this shelf, the first shelf on the left as you come in, and I've got these 2 rectangular supports, one here, for the next shelf to go on top of this one. And then on the right as you come in, I've got the first shelf and the second shelf up. Now this is just tacked in place because I'm going to put the sheathing down first and then screw these square supports to it and then put that back on top. So it's just kind of tacked in place right now. And I think I need, let's see, 6 more 2x4s to finish, to do 1 more of these shelves. And then I've got probably about, I'll need 9, I think, to do 1 more 4-foot wide rolling cart for the Quonset hut. So rounded off to 20 2x4s, maybe that'll give me a few spares in the end. So I'll be trying to pick up those in the next day or so and try to wrap this project up, as well as the little bondo that needs to get done up there. And yeah, whatever else. I think there's a couple little spots still need spray foam and some caulking, a little bit here and there. But like I said, I'm getting close. Well, that's it for today. I'm going to close it up and I'll talk to you again tomorrow. Thursday, September 11th. Time for an update. End of day. And I mostly have only worked in the little storage shed, so let's, and back it out. And ta-da! I have all the shelving units complete in here. These 2, This one and this one, mentioned it before. They're just tacked into place because I got to get the sheathing. And I'm thinking maybe I'll go with OSB. I checked Lowe's the other day. They're like 13 bucks for a 4x8 sheet, which is not too bad. And the surface is not really that horrible. It's kind of like a finished, smooth, but a little bit rough surface. I think it would work pretty good for just shelving. So I'll look at it again tomorrow. I may be going into town again and make my decision. But yeah, that's could be an economical solution for all of the shelving units that I have built just to store stuff. So the only thing left to do in here is there's a little bit of foaming to do up at the ridge here. There's a couple little spots I want to Bondo that have pinholes. For example, let's see, yeah, there's one. Yeah, it's hard to see, but yeah, it's where they put the sign up on this thing. I guess they left an extra screw hole there. I'll just Bondo over that. And you think you do a great job and you think you got everything sealed. I put a nice bead of foam all the way along there, and then you get up to the top here and you look closely, and look at that. They got all kinds of space for critters to, let's see, there's one there, and I know there's another one. Where the heck is it? Well, I guess with more daylight I could see, but there was two, and yeah, that's a pretty good size gap for critters to get through. So I'll have to put another bead of foam all the way along here. No big deal. And then that should pretty much do it for here. Oh yeah, still got the Bondo to do up here. Which reminds me that my little sanding tool arrived today, and I'll show you that in a minute. It's pretty good. I tried it out on one of the ribs of the Quonset hut where the Bondo is, and spent about 5 minutes on just one little section. And it does make it nice and smooth. If I wanted to, it's perfect now for a third coat of Bondo, but I'm probably not going to do that. Probably going to sand them and then do some Flex Seal and paint it, and that's it. So, okay, let's go down, take a look at the sanding tool and a few other things. All right, this is the tool that I found online. I searched a fairly long time, and I was going through all kinds of sanders, and I literally almost gave up. And then I think I hit next one or two more times, and then this thing popped up. And it's kind of exactly what I was looking for. So it's got a round circular pad, and then you can just pull this off with Velcro. It's just attached there with Velcro. And you can squeeze it with the trigger, or you can squeeze it and hold it, and then you don't have to worry about the trigger. And then you can sand whatever you're doing. And yeah, it works pretty good. I mean, you can put all kinds of different grits on here. It's got a battery pack down at the bottom that you can just recharge. Seems to be lasting a fairly long time. I did at least one of these rib sections, and it still seems like it's got lots of battery life. So yeah, and it's not perfect. Sometimes when you're, boy, I don't know if you can, the sun is really, oh, wow. Let me go down here in the shade a bit. Okay, so when you're sanding, it can skip a little bit as you're holding it on there. But if you really hold it with two hands tightly, you can get a fairly smooth sand to it. And my objective was to just kind of take off all these high spots here and here. And, if I ever wanted to do a third coat, you need a nice smooth surface for it, because if you tried to do it with these little high spots right here, this little stuff, this gunk here, you're your putty knife kind of goes like this and up and down, so it just makes every additional coat you do gets a little worse. So smoothing it out would make it perfect for, you know, one more coat if I wanted to do that. But I was really trying to like get this to be smooth so that water would just run right off of it. So if I can do that and then flex seal this whole thing, including this interface between the Bondo and the concrete, I think that should be pretty good. So let me show you the one that I did do. Hopefully the light's not going to be too bad. It's really super bright down here. Yeah, I can block the light with my body. Yeah, there you go. So yeah, now this is nice and smooth here. Feels pretty good. It's almost ready for either a third coat or just a coat of Flex Seal and paint. And that should be the end of that. I may just do this, you know, ad hoc. Every couple of days, do a few, Flex Seal it, paint it. Now I know which ones are done. But yeah, I like this tool. It was only about 40 bucks, I think. Yeah, not bad. All right. So you go in here, and I'm getting ready. I mentioned before, I've got all the 2x4s cut for the third one of these rolling carts. So this is the bottom shelf. I'll start screwing that together, and then this is the lumber for the second shelf, and then behind it is for the uprights. And then after that, the only thing I have to do is one more of these 4-footers. And let me tell you, I am getting tired of screwing 2x4s together. However, I think I am getting better at it. I've come up with a few techniques so that I can get a pretty good fit, even if things are not exactly perfect. So yeah, but I'll be happy to be done with all that screwing of 2x4s together. It gets old, believe me. All right, well, that's it for today's update, and I'll see you on the next one. All right, one more thing before I wrap this up. I bought this somewhat inexpensive leaf blower, and I had one purpose in mind for it. It's electric and it's battery operated. It's got these batteries here. There's 2 of them, one on each side. So let me show you what my intention was for it and how well it works. Let's go out here. All right. So before I was always using the broom to clean these rib sections and to keep the leaves and stuff off, so no more rusting will occur. So this is what I had intended for it. And that's it. That cuts my time to about, from like a good 10 minutes down to about a minute and a half. So yeah, works great. Well, now, I mean, it is, to be fair, it is dry. So these things are, you know, blowing right out of there. When it's wet, I've only used it once when it was a little wet, and it was a little bit more difficult, but not that much. It's better than sweeping, I'll tell you that much. All right. That's it. Thought I'd try and get a little footage of sanding this Bondo on the outside of the small shed. So this is pretty smooth now. I think you can see how helpful it would be to smooth this out and then be able to come back with like another coat of Bondo and just like smooth it out with your the putty knife. A lot better, or a lot easier than if it was all like jaggy. Now you can just kind of drag your putty knife over there and get a reasonably smooth coat of Bondo. I don't know if I'm going to do that on here. I'm not sure it's really necessary, but I thought it would be a good illustration of how to like smooth it out first and then come back with a second coat of Bondo, so that it's an example of what I might do down on the Quonset hut in the little the rib section at the bottom. So yeah, super helpful. And also up on the top roof here, I'm going to do the same thing so that I can get the Bondo to sort of fill in along the ridge roof there and get the water to run out and off the roof on this side, rather than just kind of build up in the crevices and cracks that were in here or in a similar situation up there in the Bondo little holes and crevices. So yeah, it works great. I did see another one of these tools online. It's almost like an upgrade to this one. I'll put the links in the description. You can decide if you like the cheaper one or maybe the upgraded one. But yeah, it works great. Anyway, hope that helps with understanding why it's good to get a nice smooth coat of Bondo after putting on the first coat, to follow it up with another coat. All right. Friday, September 12th, end of day. Time for a quick update. Unfortunately, I didn't get a whole lot done today. I ran out of construction screws, so I had to go back into town today. And while I was there, I picked up another pile of 2x4s, got my construction screws, and then basically just came home. But did get a couple of things done, so let me just switch around here. All right, this is the small shed that I was doing the sanding of the Bondo on, so I had to put a little paint on there. I'm like shocked. It's almost like an exact match. I mean, yeah, I know it's a little darker, but this paint's probably 3-4 years old maybe. So yeah, it might even be the exact same color. But yeah, I mean, I'm not too worried about it, not looking fantastic. It serves its purpose. I just really want it to be weather tight. I may go back and do a little bit more painting, but otherwise, yeah, I think I'm gonna call that good. So let's just go down to the Quonset hut and finish up down there. All right, here we are in the Quonset hut. This is the bottom shelf of one of the 8-foot long rolling storage carts. I've got this all screwed together except for the outer frame. So all these horizontal supports are screwed together. I just need to go around the outside with the extra framing there. And then tomorrow I will assemble this other one, which is the top shelf. And then I'll finally, since I got a bunch of 2x4s now, hopefully this will last me a long time. I don't really have anything really planned to be built that needs a lot of 2x4s. So this should last me a while, except for building one more of these 4-foot long rolling storage carts. And yeah, I did while I was at Lowe's today. I checked out the 1/2-inch OBS, which is like $15 a sheet versus the 7/16, which was 14, or no, it was 12 something. So it was like very close to $13 a sheet. I think I'll just go with 1/2-inch. And yeah, I felt the surface of it. It's got a little bit of bumpiness to it, but it's really not bad at all. And it's pretty economical. So I'm going to go with that. So I'll be ordering that to have it either shipped here, or I'm looking for a trailer to hook up to my Pathfinder so I can carry full sheets of plywood or OBS or MDF or whatever I need. So I'm not sure which way I'm going to go, but yeah, that should finish up all these rolling carts as well as the storage shelves in the small shed. And that's it for this week. I'll be working again tomorrow, so I'll see you next week.